Yo. What's good? We back for the first time. My name's Skinny Man Flocka. Here trying to bring y'all a new podcast to the surface. Something new that y'all can grasp to. It's called Beneath the Surface.
That's right.
Me and the good fellas, me and the good folks. Gonna let these gentlemen introduce themselves.
I go by the name El Jefe.
What's the deal? It's your boy Killer at killer.fitness on IG.
That was nice. I'm in here. It's Prada Jones. You know what I'm saying? Move Money ET. What up? At me, Prada Jones _. You already know.
All right, and like I said, we here with the Beneath the Surface podcast platform for the first time. And like I said, man, I noticed you brothers looking kind of good today, man. What y'all got on, man? What you got on, bro?
So you know me, man. I'm always repping the money. Move Money ENT. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see us.
Which goody. This Killer Fitness is actually one of my latest apparel right here. Crew neck sweatshirt. You could get it actually on my IG at killer.fitness.
That's merch for your gym wears.
Yeah.
That's dope.
They know
that's
it.
Dope. Yeah, I'm in here repping my sis label, not even label, her company, VIP Junk Removal. You know what I'm saying? Y'all doing demolition. Y'all all in the real estate. That's hot topic right now. Everybody doing that. You need this. You know what I'm saying? Call her at 973-810-6234. Ask for Tay or ask for Jones if you know what I'm saying, try to holler at me and shit. I hold it down.
And me personally, I'm rocking with The Secret of Secrets by the homegirl Biggs. Fucks with her, man. Shit, you know. It's moving out there, man, you know?
That's right.
One of those.
Like, first off, I want to start off by saying rest in peace to Kobe 9, David Stern, and Pop Smoke, and everybody else who lost their life and going through a situation right now. Rest in peace to y'all.
That's nice.
And you know, prayers out to y'all.
Facts.
All right.
So as we start, we're gonna go ahead and go into the news for the day, the relevant news. I'm gonna bring y'all a news story that comes out of Wilmington, North Carolina. There was a traffic stop where an Uber driver was pulled over and attempted to record the traffic stop. The officer basically told him that that was against the state law, which was obviously was not correct, and the officer was later demoted for giving that individual false information. And I just want to state to all the people out there that the police departments of America have basically stated and went out on their way to let people know that you can record if you feel it's necessary, and you should.
That's good news.
Yeah, absolutely.
I heard that.
So real quick, I don't want to delay any further news, but how did they get the footage of the footage if he wasn't able to record?
He filed a complaint.
Okay.
After the fact.
All right, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to catch y'all on the next one. My news story ain't cut it, but next week I'll bring in two. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I ain't really prepared for one, but I did have one on my mind that I did want to discuss and give to people. There's a platform called TikTok. You know what I'm saying? It's like a social media platform or whatever, and it's more relatable with the kids. It's popular with the kids more so, not too many adults. And they got a challenge going on right now called the Skull Breaker Challenge, where 3 individuals do a jump contest type of thing, but the 2 on the end do not jump, and the middle one jumps, and they take him out, clip him mid-air, and he falls back on his head, you know?
I seen that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy, man.
Kids are catching concussions, you know. Parents are outraged, you know what I'm saying? It's something that we need to speak to our kids about, you know, warn them, you know, speak to them if they are participating in it in any way, whether they're the middle kids or the outside kids, you know, the kids on the end that's doing the tripping. We just need to speak to them because, like I said, that TikTok, you know, I think why I got able to pass so long is because us adults are not on there. You know what I'm saying? So the kids, they watching it, they doing it, and there's no supervision up there saying, hey, that's wrong. You know, when you see certain things on your son's Facebook or on his Instagram, you could catch him like, oh, I seen what you posted, or did you see this? But we don't really get that skull breaker thing on our platform. So, you know, if you got kids or nephews, nieces, any family members, or anybody that you know that's, you know, young adults and, you know, kids, please warn them, tell them, you know, watch out for that.
Yeah,
Please,
definitely.
please.
I'm gonna let
Talk
my
to the
daughter
kids.
know.
Talk to the kids.
Me personally, I got one for y'all, man. It's kind of crazy. It's a shocker, man. Greg Robinson out of NFL was the number 2 overall pick in the 2014 draft. Dude got bumped with 157 pounds of weed at the border, Mexican border.
Unbelievable.
Him and another dude, he was an undrafted free agent by the name of Quan Bray. It's a little bit more understandable that he would have did it because he was undrafted. But for Greg Robinson, they said,
He out here.
they said bro made over $30 million in his career. So I don't know.
And
I don't know what he was getting for where his numbers on the pounds was.
That's why you got to be financially
Them lifestyles,
literate,
yeah,
like
exactly.
because he probably lost that bread somehow. And now he,
lifestyle,
man, he
you
fell.
know?
It was something, bro.
Yeah.
But like I said, that's what I got right now. And like I said, it's looking like they said dude facing about 20 right now. And it's looking nasty for him over there, man. So, you know.
Yeah, man, hold your head, brother.
Yeah, prayers
You know
out
what I'm
to you,
saying?
brother. You gonna need it. Grab a Snickers or something, man. 'Cause yeah, man. Word up. And yeah, that was that.
So that's the relevant news that we got for y'all for this week. Moving on, we got a segment that we like to call WTF. Who you think you are? And this week, I would like to give the who the moment to Boosie Badass. Boosie recently went on his Instagram, and a lot of people are familiar with D Wade and his family, and what they're currently dealing with, or the situation. And everybody has an opinion, everybody's entitled, but Boosie took it upon himself to go on his social media and address D Wade and his son, and it's just one of them situations where I think Boosie would have been better served if he really wanted to get across to the brother, trying whatever channels. I'm not saying all celebrities know each other, but he definitely could have reached out, you know what I'm saying, even DM'd that man and said what he had to say. But yet he chose to, put that out there to the world and express his opinions in that fashion. And I think that's one of those moments where you really need to just, fall back. So for Boosie, we gotta ask you, who the F you think you are, brother?
Hey, so is he getting it because he put it out there, or he getting it because
basically, in my opinion, that's clout chasing. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if he really wanted to address D Wade, if he really had concerns, there was a million ways he could have went about that.
Liv him got no relationship with D Wade.
That's fine, but that ain't your business to go on your Instagram and discuss this man's and his child's personal business.
But that personal business out there.
Hey, man.
I'm playing devil's advocate, by the way.
Understood,
I ain't saying I agree with him and how he went about it, but
he
hey.
just said what everybody else was thinking.
Y'all could be honest. To be honest,
listen,
and he started
opinions are like a-holes. Everybody got one. That don't mean you need to put it out there all the time. You hear me?
That's right.
That don't mean you got to put it out there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
What's up?
So what's up, man? You done
But
gathered us all here today to do what, baby? Let's
listen.
get into it.
Nah, listen, this is a real. This has always been a personal dope. You know personally, because we always chop it up about this personally. But our first topic, first and foremost, today is the 55th anniversary of Malcolm X's death, and we all want to pay tribute and
That's big.
honor that.
That's big.
55 years of that, and
I ain't see that nowhere, nor did I hear it on the radio station today. I don't know if anybody else did.
Malcolm.
and you not,
You know what I'm
because
saying?
who he was,
You
and what he
hear
represented.
Martin's birthday, his death, his everything, his fiance's birthday, his girlfriend's birthday. You hear everything about Martin, but you don't hear nothing about Malcolm.
Because of that outlook.
word is
Everybody thought
born.
it was radical. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at this time, we definitely want to take a moment of silence and pay tribute to the brother. 55 years of him being gone from us. All right. So, with that being said, we got a couple questions lined up. We got a couple questions lined up. You know what I mean, that we want to discuss and bring to the world and bring forth. And the first question, I'm gonna start with
Well,
you.
hold on. We would be remiss if we don't. So I don't know if everyone's seen it, But there's a documentary, docu-series that's currently on Netflix. I believe Fusion produced it. Can we go ahead and give credit to the people behind the documentary, please?
It was brother. I think his name was Abdul Rahman Muhammad.
Yeah, he was the narrator,
based
but the actual I believe
Nah, you ain't.
no? All right, so yeah, well, once again, this documentary is on Netflix.
Rachel Dretzkin and Phil Burleson, pardon me.
Definitely. So they put together a very, very good watch, in my opinion, and it sparked some conversation amongst the fellas, and we're gonna get into it. We're gonna dig beneath the surface.
All right. So the first question I pose to you fellas, and you can ask in any particular order, doesn't matter. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start with you because you're closer to me. And first question is, what's your take on how do you feel about how Malcolm's decision on how he handled his exile from the Nation of Islam in his campaign against the Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
So it's Alpha Hefe, and I'm gonna take the first one. So in my opinion, at the time when Malcolm, after he had took his pilgrimage, after he had I guess been enlightened in his own words, Malcolm kind of came back, to a bad situation where he was no longer accepted by the nation, and I think he didn't handle it well, in my opinion. I believe Malcolm didn't continue to just focus on his mission and spreading the good word, but he kind of went on a slander campaign. Like, you know what I'm saying? He decided that he was in his feelings, and he was gonna let the world know what he had to let them know about Elijah Muhammad, and it was a bad time. You didn't say none of these things, before while you were a part of it. You waited till you no longer a part, and now you just look sour.
Right.
It never happens like that, though.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Hef on that. I think he lost sight of where he was going, his mission. He basically got emotional after he got exiled. You know what I'm saying? And with when you're thinking off emotion rather than logic, you just start doing things that you wouldn't usually do. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, I feel if he would have sat back a minute, let them emotions settle a little bit more, he could have started his own movement, and because he already still had following. You know what I'm saying? And he was kind of like using the following he gained from Elijah Muhammad to once again use it against Elijah Muhammad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The same people that started messing with you or following you based on you being part of the NOI, the Nation of Islam, you try to use them against who they thought was like their God. You know what I'm saying? The word, exactly, the messages. So I think he definitely failed on that part. He should have probably built his own following and then executed his plan a little differently.
Yeah, but he actually did build his own following, but it came essentially after the fact. This dispute was happening, the drama was happening at that time. But although I do agree with y'all points, however, one thing I do want to point out is the fact that Malcolm was a human. And the fact that, like me personally, I feel as though he handled it just like a human. When it initially happened, he was apologetic. He was humble. He was writing letters. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad actually started putting buffers and filters in between him. Malcolm couldn't even get in contact with him. He was trying to be, he took his punishment. He sat down. He ain't do, none of his preaching, moments or nothing like that. And then it kind of, he went to a point where, he felt betrayed.
Right.
So me, you, or nobody else in here can tell him how to handle that at that particular point. But I feel as though, at that point, he handled it like he felt as though it was necessary. Not that I agree with it, but
I agree with that too. I do.
He was hoeing.
I do.
Humans.
Yeah.
I agree with what you said.
It built up after a while, and he just had to do what he had to do.
I agree with what you said. I think that he really didn't understand how to deal with rejection. Me personally, I don't really think he understood how to deal with rejection. And when it came, because he was successful, and then when it came, he resorted back to basically like the criminal him, but not in criminal acts, but in thoughts, kicking Elijah Muhammad back in, and to piggyback off of what you were saying, it wasn't really Elijah Muhammad that was creating a divide. It was the people within the nation that was creating a divide. You had a lot of people that was hating. The government too, but I'm talking about within the nation. And he was writing letters. You got to realize you just couldn't write a letter and it go straight to Elijah Muhammad. It would go through proper channels first, and it wouldn't make it through the first channel. Actually, they was canning it. You know what I mean? So it was just like Exactly, golf club. You know what I mean? And it was like, and then it just started festering in, and then it just bubbled up, and he just couldn't handle the rejection.
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately,
So you guys' point was straight. You know, he was emotional. You know,
Emotional.
put yourself in his shoes, though. Put yourself in his shoes. And would you respond that exact same way? Like, keep it 100.
With
me
that,
personally,
He
I
was
wouldn't.
tucking his tail in the beginning.
I wouldn't, because you gotta realize he wasn't following protocol though. Because before he even got exiled, they told him not to do certain things. Even the statement that he made about JFK about the chickens coming
They
home
didn't
to
tell
roost.
him not to do that,
They
though.
did. They absolutely
No,
told
they
him.
told him not to speak on that.
Yeah.
But,
They told
so
him
like
to
you
make a
said, I agree with you. In the beginning, he took his punishment. You know what I'm saying? He took it in stride. But and to speak on, we can always say what we would do.
Yeah.
But I just feel as though on that stage with that much at stake, there was way more that he could have been focused on outside of Elijah Muhammad at that moment.
Just ain't an Instagram Mary. He couldn't just go up there and drop a little text on him and say, "Yo, man, I ain't feeling this." You know what I'm saying?
Realize a lot
He
of
took it to the airwaves
But
on him.
I mean, his approach was, definitely wrong, because you're talking about people who was ridiculously loyal to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They're
And you
not
gotta
going to turn
realize-
on him for you. What are you talking about?
This is
Like,
why
Some of
we
them
saying
already
what
didn't
we
like
saying.
Malcolm to begin with.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly why we saying. What
And you
we
gotta
saying.
realize
His
a lot of
approach was
Elijah
all
Muhammad
wrong.
followers. My partner. A lot of his followers never even met him.
Yeah.
Never touched him. Never,
And they thought he was like,
A lot of these people thought he was
a
like
prophet.
he was like a
they
Jesus,
think
equivalent
like
to a Jesus.
Yeah, like a straight.
So it was, But question number 2, I'm gonna run with
Skin. Get closer. Part.
Do you believe Malcolm's work and approach is still necessary in today's era?
That's damn near a no-brainer. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think everybody say yeah to that.
Definitely.
Me personally, I think what Malcolm we talk about though, like, you know what I mean? Like, because I think both Malcolms are necessary personally. Me
It's
personally.
only one Malcolm. What
No,
you
I'm talking about both.
Explain yourself,
both,
brother.
Post and pre.
Okay.
Post and pre. Like, his feelings, I believe his feelings were pure when he was, his feelings were always pure, I believe. He just handled it differently once he got exiled. But meaning, like, I believe, like, when I say we need both Malcolms, the Malcolm when he was in the nation, when he was with, that's when he was
No inclusion.
It was
White devil this, white devil
You
that.
gotta realize, like, some people really believe in, like, strengthening your tribe and your race before you can help anybody else, and that's what he was really all.
Yeah, but see, what we talking? If you go back to the question at hand, though, you said his work. Essentially what he was fighting for, which was
Both works were needed, if you ask me, because, like I said, both works, because the work that he was preaching, as far as like he felt when he was with Elijah Muhammad initially, he felt what he was preaching was the word, right? Mm-hmm. And he moved a certain way, and he had a lot of people following him, and a lot of people gravitating towards him, going off Elijah Muhammad's word, or going off the strength of Elijah Muhammad, but they were listening to him though, right? Yeah. And that effect that it had on the people. I mean, I'm talking about the effect. You're always gonna need that. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a feeling. It's like something that you could look up to. It's like, you know what I mean? You could just go to a corner, listen to a man speak. You know what I mean? If you're feeling down or whatever, then that's something that, you know what I mean?
Not to cut you off, but Malcolm was a great speaker. So Malcolm was, inspirational and,
absolutely.
and influential all throughout. And to speak on your point, even the two Malcolms, I understand you're saying the approach.
Right, the approach.
But like you said, pre and post, the approach at first was no inclusion, the white man is the devil and things of that nature. And post, he was more so,
everybody,
about mankind.
kumbaya.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Of course, still the black agenda, but not to say that the only Muslims are black Muslims. Obviously.
Hold on.
So what I say is, like, me personally, I believe before you can strengthen anything, before you can help anybody, you got to help your people first before you could do anything.
Yeah, let me rebuttal that 2 seconds. I think the content needs to be flushed out a little bit, because y'all talking about pre and post. When you're talking about, he was saying white devils and stuff like that, those are the bylaws of the Nation of Islam. That's not necessarily Malcolm's work. He was getting that, second
Elijah
hand.
Muhammad.
Yeah, so
Right.
I think that's a little bit different. When I think about Malcolm, I'm thinking about this prominent figure in history who was really, essentially known for uniting black people. Whether that was telling them to get businesses, whether that's saying support each other and stuff like that. And when, to answer that question, yes, that's still prominent in today's society.
Absolutely.
So that alone. And just to, I just want to just highlight this point. You was talking about the exile, stuff like that. Malcolm never deviated from the word. What he did was he started creating slander on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He didn't say, don't follow the word. He didn't say that. And I challenge all of y'all to go back and look to make sure he didn't say that.
And the way he kind of was though, because if Elijah Muhammad, if you're preaching Elijah Muhammad's word and then you're going against him, then you're not believing what he's saying. Then. At one point, he stopped believing what he was saying.
And then let me ask you, Kyle, since you want to challenge this. Listen, the fact that he brought up Elijah Muhammad and the girls he was sleeping with, what did that have to do with not following the word anymore? Or you're better yet, follow the word, but don't follow Elijah Muhammad? Listen, that had nothing to do with that.
That ain't had nothing to do with that.
And like you said, Malcolm was a man, right?
He was.
You said Malcolm was a man, right?
Yeah.
What is Elijah Muhammad?
A man.
He was a man.
Yeah.
What is
like
a man?
A pedophile, but
I mean,
he was exactly nutty out there.
He was messing with little girls.
Ultimately, the work of Malcolm is still needed. Once again, the approach. You understand? I would have to say eye for an eye. I still believe that is that is still very relevant and necessary. There's a few names I'd feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't say. The Sandra Bland's, the Eric Garner's,
absolutely,
Mike Brown.
Absolutely.
Trayvon. So when you think of all these individuals who basically had their lives cut short at the hands of a suppressor, or at the hands of what I'm saying, people who in authority, you almost have to say Malcolm's work is still very much needed.
Agreed.
And that's just to name a few. Mm-hmm. Rest in peace.
Yeah, because I wanted to highlight in almost every era that we've been through. Speaking of slavery days, Reconstruction days, Jim Crow, civil rights days, and even current days, we can't pinpoint too many leaders that we had throughout those eras. You get what I'm saying? We got the Malcolms, we got the Martins, but if you can give me one heroic figure that we have today that did works of like that speaking to the masses and having them follow them.
Risk their lives.
You risk their lives, knowing any day they could die. I would applaud you. I don't see that anymore.
Not like that.
I personally think that's the ultimate, like me personally, like people like measure gangster and like things like that. Me personally, I think that was like the most ultimate sacrifice you could do, knowing you're gonna die for what you believe in.
Absolutely.
But
and you still gonna move and say how you feel no matter what. Yeah. That's like the ultimate, most gangsterest thing that you could do or be like.
Listen, Malcolm
standing on your own ground at all times.
Embodied the greatest fear to white people in America, which was he challenged integration, like wholeheartedly.
Right.
We don't need it.
Unapologetically.
Right.
We don't need it. We don't want it.
Because you know what it was for Malcolm? It wasn't about the dollar. He didn't want any money. He wasn't doing it for money. Malcolm did it for his moral beliefs and his ethical beliefs. You understand? So when Malcolm got on that stage, he wasn't thinking about, after I get off this platform or this stage, I'm gonna pocket me a little $5,000 and go blow it over here.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing it for that. And, I challenge our current leaders and any upcoming leaders to stay true to your mission and don't let materialism or the individualism exactly take over your path and your mission, because once they give us our black leaders any power and they let them have a platform, they usually get sidetracked by the money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Become a token.
As simple as that. You know what I'm saying? So
let me just highlight this point real quick. So you guys was talking about, Malcolm being emotional. That's what happened.
He didn't want to lead his Malcolm.
Y'all not going to get him on my boy.
He was home.
What happens? Talk to me about when the feds went to his house. He recorded them. He had an opportunity to turn on the nation and Elijah Muhammad.
He did what he was supposed to do.
He did. No,
He
no.
did what he was supposed to do.
What's
He
up,
what he was
what
supposed to
happened
tell.
all that emotion and stuff.
But listen, just because you
What happened to
that
that?
you're supposed to tell because if me and you beefing, you punch me, I'm gonna call the cops on you. No, that doesn't matter. No, that's a
So you giving an analogy, you making it into a street thing. It wasn't a street thing.
I
We talking about-
understand, but you kind of turned it into the street thing, honestly, because what we supposed to do with the information?
He was beefing with
told him,
Elijah Muhammad. That was
I
his
understand
opportunity
That, but
to-
as a man, he has a man. He was a man that stood on morals and principles, and he told him straight. I know exactly what you're talking about. He said, "Listen, I could never do that to you. I can't assist you in doing that."
Because he was true to the word.
But Malcolm also
He was true to his word.
Malcolm, not to cut you off, brother. Malcolm also knew he was recording. How do you know?
No. Malcolm recorded it.
No,
not
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He knew this was
Yeah.
being recorded, right? So if you know you're being recorded, what you gonna say?
I mean, if
You
I'm
gonna sound
doing
good,
the
right?
recording, yeah.
Obviously. So what if that was a tactic to get back in the nation? Because at the end of the day, he didn't give it to them right up front, but then gave it to the world every time somebody put a mic in his face. What is the difference?
And then look, shortly after that, right? Because that's how he found out about the information about him,
like that.
Elijah
I like
Muhammad
that.
sleeping with
What is the
sleeping with his flock. He got it from the FBI. It wasn't like he knew it or the woman came to him.
He didn't hold the
Once he
bomb.
got the information, that's when he went to the woman personally. And then the woman being emotional, they gave up everything. Yeah, he's nailing me. Yeah, you feel me? Like you know what I'm saying? He gave up everything. They
He was
gave it
humble.
up.
I
Like,
mean, you can look at how you want,
Yeah.
but
You
you,
know what I
gotta
mean?
accept
Like-
that fact.
Yeah.
He was in his feelings.
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
We'll move to the next one.
Yeah, let's get it.
but okay.
Keep digging.
What's your feelings, thoughts on the alleged killer trigger man responsible, the shotgun man, being from North, out of Mos 25?
Anybody?
I
want to jump on this one?
I attack it first.
Y'all scared? I'm about
Nah,
to say.
hell no.
Brick City?
Well-
what's up?
First and foremost, highlight the word alleged because we don't
Please.
know if it's true. However,
Please.
if it is, I'm gonna be honest, man. This a stain already. I mean, the city get, me born and raised straight north, baby. You know what I'm saying? Number blocks. We already
Stones.
get a negative stigma. You know what I'm saying? Around the world. But this right here, like, if this is true, this is a major stain on the city. Like, I mean, it's like I had people not from North DMing me, calling me like, yo, this what y'all doing? Y'all had something to do with Malcolm, and I'm like, yo, like,
Ugly, man.
yo, what's up? But
Anybody can get it.
I'm gonna be honest, like this one, it pierced a little bit. If it's true, it's something I definitely don't want to be a part of, and and I rep my city, whatever. But I definitely don't want to be a part of it. But it's definitely a stain on the city, man, because of the bad rep we already got, across the world. You know what I'm saying?
Factual.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, like you said, we putting alleged on it. So any stigma that comes with that alleged, description of what happened in the alleged shooter being from Newark, it's still alleged. So all your feelings and emotions and your opinions of what we got going on or how Newark is moving, you got to keep that to the back burner. Because I still don't feel no type of way. You understand what I'm saying?
Hold that thought, brother.
Yo, we're gonna come back to that.
Yeah,
We gonna
hold
come back.
that
We gotta
thought.
pay some bills real
feel-
quick.
You know how
Okay.
that
And
go.
we gonna come right back to that.
Oh, all right.
All right.
Sure.
All right.
Do that. Yo, we back to the Beneath the Surface show. It's your boy Skinny Man Flocka.
And El Jefe here, we'd like to thank 10,000 Hours, the network, for having us and allowing us to do this damn thing.
We want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors.
Absolutely. Move Money NT, Killer Fitness, of course. We can't forget VIP junk removal. And that phone number, once again, is 973-810-6234. When you call, do not forget to mention BTS for your discount.
Word. Yo. We back. I want to bring it back to the question before we took a little break to pay these bills and let my bro finish talking and elaborating on that question. And the question was, how do you feel being that the supposed trigger man, alleged trigger man was from North, out of Mos 25 being specific?
Yeah, like I was saying before we stepped away, we can't forget the fact that it is alleged. So, the opinions and reactions that proceed this alleged shooter being from Newark should still be, it should still be tucked away. When someone's a alleged murderer, you can't treat him as if he is a murderer. It's still alleged. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I don't really feel any kind of way knowing that he's from Newark. You know what I'm saying? Because if you are from Newark, then you do understand certain things and certain codes that we live by. And for me, it's two type of peoples when it comes to a murder situation. It's the shooter and it's the victim, and there's always two sides to it, not to say the victim isn't, somebody that we need to speak upon or idolize, but at the same time, the shooter is also in certain ways, I don't know, how can I say this, illuminated in certain ways. We look at them and we think, hey, all right, this guy shot this guy, it's none of our business.
Why did he shoot him? I mean, you got to ask that question.
Yeah, why? It's so much to it, but even beyond why it happened, if it did in fact happen, it's none of our business to tell the next person. We don't do that around here. You know what I'm saying? We gotta mind your business, man, or you might be next. You know what I'm saying? That's just how that be going. So that's why if it is from Newark, okay. If it isn't, okay. Rest in peace, Malcolm. That's all I got on that.
Like me personally, I could I'm just take a spin on it real quick. Like me personally, first and foremost, I'm from East Orange, so I don't feel like you said, I don't feel away at all. Like, I'm from East Orange. So, I mean, I said like you said. I just said like you said. I mean, we're from East Orange, so we don't feel the type of way at all. But nah, all jokes aside, like the documentary said, it just so happened that North got him first. It could have been eventually brothers out of Philly, out of New York. It's just that North just so happened to get him first. And,
right.
And I also feel like it's damn near criminal to do that to that man, because he never was charged for that crime. He never was absolutely questioned for that crime or anything. So for him to have his face plastered up, he has a family, children, a wife. I'm pretty sure if I'll be trying to sue Netflix if I was his family, like me personally, like.
Right.
But that's what I feel about it. Me personally, yeah, bro.
Yeah, so like I said, we have to say the alleged.
Yeah.
Because he was not ever charged. He definitely was not convicted. And although in a court of public opinion, due to the documentary, which had a bit of a bias, we got to remember that was a program. Right. Whenever there's a program, there's a direction. They're going somewhere with that.
Right.
So if the alleged killer was from Newark, that would obviously be a black eye for the city of Newark. And like Skinny said, I'm from East Orange, so when I first, heard that or came across that revelation, it was like, you dirty niggas killed me.
That's crazy.
I can't believe it. But at the same time, man, once again, when you put things in context and you're dealing with the times, you just kind of you gotta be realistic and understand that obviously as much as Malcolm was a hero, as much as he is a legend, as much as he is an icon in our community. Once again, he was a human being. He was an individual, had his flaws, and obviously, there were people out there who weren't as fond of Malcolm.
Yo, Newark and East Orange is the same thing.
We gotta go ahead and take a seat.
No, it's not. Look at the street signs. It's totally different.
Come on.
You can tell by the street signs. It's totally different.
Man.
What you saying, man? The area's different. You go to different precincts. You go to different precincts. I'm telling you, man.
I've resided in Newark for the last 15 years.
The fact that even y'all being in East Orange,
what you mean is Essex County, we all end up in the county.
Exactly. Like you from Newark too. That's where you spent your formidable years, man. I don't want to hear that. But hold on. Let me ask y'all a question. All three of y'all, because y'all kind of took the same position. Do y'all believe this was a catastrophic moment in history? Like the fact that Malcolm X was murdered? Like,
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Like Skinny spoke on, he's a bit of a historian. Skinny, he does his homework on a lot of things. So he said, even when the documentary came out, it wasn't a revelation to him. That wasn't new. This was something that he was already aware of. But for me and a lot of others, this was news. This was like, oh, shit hit kind of hard, like a ton of bricks. So definitely, I feel like that, that's a pretty big moment.
I think it's more than you said it's a black eye for the city of Newark. I think it's more than that though, bro. Like I think you thinking locally and you thinking on the surface. It's funny because, you know what I mean?
Beneath the surface.
Yeah, obviously. The name of the show. But outside of Newark, they looking at this like, yo, y'all disgusting.
Nah, I don't.
To
I
be a
mean, I
part
see
of
what
that.
you're saying, but like I said, Newark ain't no different from LA. Like what
I mean,
they doing in
I
LA? It's
agree.
no different.
However,
Like, it's
somebody
no different.
somebody
With
would
the
have got them.
involvement
Just
in
no,
this
did it
was-
first. It just
Right.
with this conversation could have been niggas from Harlem doing it or something like, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, allegedly, some of the
Nah,
was-
they
nah,
was
the
saying
two
all
dudes
of them
that
was
did
from
it. They
I can't even say allegedly.
the
They
two-
actually were charged
the
and
two
convicted.
dudes that alleged that the dude that said that actually committed the murder. He tried to shoot them some bail, but you know how that shit work when they want you, man. It just is
All
what
right,
it
so
is.
look. So, matter of fact, go ahead to the next one. Go ahead.
Nah,
Nah,
bro.
speak on it, brother. Please speak on it.
Nah, I lost it. I actually lost my train
It's
of
all
thought.
right. It's
Yeah.
So yeah, man. For the city of Newark, once again, alleged. We must
alleged.
state.
Yeah,
alleged.
definitely.
That's probably why the water ain't right.
And before we move on, like you said, Skinny, we do have to also look at, like I said, that was a program, and
Yeah.
it's almost dirty how they put that out there,
All right,
because
so-
they made it seem as though
All
it
right,
wasn't
so
just
hold on.
alleged. It was a short
we
thing.
around-
And not to mention, hold on real quick. Not to mention, they also pretty much exonerated the other two shooters.
Three.
Well,
two.
the two that
No,
was
two.
like they was
Yeah.
saying that had
There
nothing
was
to do
two-
with it.
there were
They-
two-
One was
that they
convicted.
was saying
There were two that, you know what I'm saying,
Tamaj, I think was the one.
that didn't even get pictures. They might have mentioned names
Thomas Hayes,
or possible
it was
names.
Three of them, bro. It was three of them. It was five of them all together. They only had pictures of
Three
two
of them were actually convicted.
No, what I'm saying is the other three alleged.
Other two.
Other three. It was five of them, bro.
It was 5.
It was five all together.
It was 5 and 3
It was
got
all-
convicted.
It was five. Three got convicted, but the two that were not from Harlem,
from Harlem.
not them, but they were. I'm talking about the other three that weren't even pictured. There was three brothers that weren't even pictured.
Yes.
yeah.
Five came out of Newark.
Yes, it was 5.
Yeah.
And
So
of that
it's 7,
5, it was
altogether
only
7.
one that actually did it. The other 2 were people of the 5 that they posted.
He put 'em in paperwork.
It was 5 people that actually did it based on Thomas. What was his name?
Thomas Hayes.
Thomas Hayer's affidavit. So the other 2 guys weren't mentioned within that
Other
5
two
that
guys
were
from
talking.
Mars 25. There were two more.
No,
three more.
no. This is what we're saying. The other 2 that were convicted, they were wrongfully convicted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but within the 5 that were all, alleged shooters, those 2 were not of that 5.
No.
It was
wasn't. They
so
was from
basically
Harlem. They
we're
from
only
Harlem.
talking about Thomas Hayer
And William Bradley.
and William Bradley, and
And
the other
three
3 that
never got
were
pictured.
never pictured.
So
By name
they could
only.
be anybody.
Name only,
By
exactly.
name. Hey, yo, so we're around the same age.
Yeah.
But during the documentary, it's my understanding that it was like hush hush that people actually knew.
Nah, they
They knew that he had involvement.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, and they was just like, yo, leave it alone.
You know what's crazy, right?
You know what I'm saying?
And I don't want to sound corny or like a prophetic or whatever, but like I said, I've been studying this for a while. So that same campaign commercial that they show, I've been saw that commercial, and I like I said, I've been researching it, and I've been knew about William Bradley or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And you know what's crazy is when I was younger, I actually met him twice when I was a kid, like on some like I don't want to
that's
go on
your
all
uncle?
that. Nah, I ain't bugging. But I don't want to get. But
Nah,
it's,
but-
Rest in peace to Shotgun Man as well.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
because
yeah,
at the
'cause
same
he-
time,
yeah.
man, you got to remember, if Thomas Hayer never did that affidavit, our man's name would never came up.
Facts.
And
Let's get that clear.
and not for nothing. And I don't want to go. I don't want to go off course. But Thomas Hayes was a rat. Be honest with you, I don't want to go off course. He was a rat because he clearly gave up the other fucker. He realized what was going on and said, "Nah, man, y'all got the wrong one.
Hey, yo.
Get them niggas out of 25, man. Get the rest of them niggas, man."
Where's ball?
Nah, but you know what I mean. All
Get
just
my
aside,
codies.
Nah,
In the name of justice, ain't that what they call it? Shit like that?
Listen, but I think Thomas Hayer did the affidavit after the fact, though,
He
right?
did years already.
So
Yeah,
he-
so once they went on trial, and it was looking like the 2 other brothers was gonna get convicted alongside of him. He tried to get them,
Yeah.
get them released.
Tried
Yeah,
to cut them
he
loose.
couldn't cut them loose. He
Hey, yo.
couldn't do it. But it was years after that he did that affidavit. You know what I'm saying?
there was other
Why
people who
not
tried to
get
get this
it
case
done,
reopened.
though?
A dub for
What?
each one.
Oh,
Yeah, that was crazy.
what?
That was heavy.
Yo.
There was a few people trying to get that case reopened.
that's-
It wasn't
that's-
happening.
And then, but the sad part about it is, you know, the one brother that's still alive, like he that was wrongfully convicted.
Right.
He got kids and
Allegedly
to this
wrongly
day-
convicted.
Allegedly
Hey, yo,
wrongly
you wild.
convicted. I'm just
Allegedly
This guy come-
wrongly convicted,
guy-
bruh. Listen,
this guy.
He went to
That's-
jail.
I guess,
Yo, I ain't gonna
I guess,
hold you.
I guess
That's
if you gotta
ground-
get
He
beneath
didn't-
the surface
he
of
didn't
this,
get exonerated to this day. Now, did he?
this is true.
He was not exonerated.
This
So
is true.
allegedly,
But
he
I
didn't
think
do it.
so. Abdul.
But it ruined his family
what's
though.
his name?
That ruined his family, like, cause he has children now,
supposed to
and
submit, like, a
it
petition or
ruined.
something.
Yeah, you
We
know,
should-
anytime you had to
This is-
do a term, you know, I mean, any time away from your kids could tear the relationship apart, you know. But 20 years, man, that is over the top, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know, day in, day out, the people like what I tell my friends and family members that do speak to, that do go to jail, is not only you doing the time.
Yeah,
You understand
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Fact.
The people on the streets are doing it too. They miss you, they need you, and you know, after a while of not being able to get to you or have you there for advice, you know, on call or command, they kind of start figuring out another way to adapt without you. You know, it's just human nature.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't fault them on that.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is, but you can't fault anybody on that.
It's a fact. That's definitely a fact. Got another question, man.
Shout out to
Okay.
Noah, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
He's starting to
still-
stand
still-
up, man. He's starting to stand up.
No.
Keep being honorable. He's starting.
No,
But after watching Who Killed Malcolm X documentary, the miniseries, is there any change in your view on Malcolm's legacy?
want to tap that.
So I think I might have mentioned this earlier. Or I know I said it to you all, but I wouldn't say I have changed in my view, but I will say that, you know, especially, you know, like you said, we're all around the same age, and growing up, Malcolm was similar to Martin, similar to a lot of other Black history heroes that we studied or, you know, were introduced to. And you only get the good side. You only get the positive. You know, you didn't really hit too much negative, you know what I'm saying, on the come up. And even in recent years, I wouldn't have known a lot of things that I've come to find out about some of these human beings, these great men. But I will say that it did bring light to the fact that, once again, not everybody loved Malcolm.
Right.
And I think that was one of the biggest revelations for me.
Shots.
Right.
You know, it was like, damn, y'all ain't got no love for Malcolm?
More people probably didn't. I think more people disliked him than they liked.
might-
Well,
This is true.
during his campaign.
This is what we don't know.
That's what they call a radical.
Yeah, but this is the whole situation for me. When on my come up and growing up, it was always kind of like Malcolm versus Martin, or should I say Martin versus Malcolm? You know, because it seemed
Opposite
as
side of
if
the coin.
Martin was the most likable, you know, and
The
Malcolm,
token Negro.
you know what I mean,
right.
and Malcolm was the rebel.
Yeah.
So for me, seeing this, I see it was a whole different side of Malcolm. He wasn't just the rebel. He was not just the outspoken one. He wasn't just the one that wanted to fight back. I understand his reasons for why he was doing the things he was doing, you know. I never really knew that. We don't get that in the history books. We just get, you know, some clickbait, basically.
Context, man.
You know what I mean?
Context.
Yeah.
Context is everything.
Yeah. So.
For me, the Netflix series definitely insightful. A lot of intel in it. Does it change my legacy or my view on his legacy? Absolutely not. What I thought about him prior to seeing this, I still think about him right at this moment. Like, you're talking about somebody who was a pimp, a drug dealer, a drug addict, a criminal.
Right.
Changed his life.
Yeah.
Had the charisma, you know what I'm saying, to,
Rose
you know,
from the
shoot
ash.
to the top, like, of, you know, his genre, like what he was doing.
Yeah.
And unite the people and you know, stand for his beliefs and what he, you know, what he did. And I still, like, nothing changes.
Definitely. All respect and salute to Malcolm, obviously.
For me personally, I definitely don't view him any different. I still think he's a great man, but I've like looking at, like I said, I just disagree with a lot of the things he did as far as like going at Elijah Muhammad. I think he could have did it a lot better,
Right.
but and more honorable. But
So do you Is he more likable? Is he more favorable for you now after seeing?
It's still the same for me. I mean, it's still the same. But like I said, me personally, he had a lot of dishonor in him.
Right on.
Like if I picked up anything, I'm not taking away from his legacy, but looking at what he did, it was kind of dishonorable. You know what I mean? Me personally.
I just really, you listen, man. I don't like that.
that.
But hold on, I want to go back though. I don't like the whole narrative of Malcolm versus Martin because of the whole. It's basically, and this was to
me that all depends on who you are and what you feel as a person.
But no. That was a thing. And essentially it was almost like Christians versus Muslims, or a violent person versus someone's non-violent.
Absolutely.
But it was actually deeper than Muslims versus Christians at that time.
But it wasn't that at all. Like
it was deeper than that.
Yeah,
it was civil rights. It was civil rights. It was
all civil rights.
Civil rights.
How you was gonna go about getting yours?
Civil rights.
What I mean was,
are you letting somebody punch you in the face right now and not doing nothing?
Absolutely not.
All right, so you would have been on Malcolm's side.
Absolutely.
All right, now we talk.
I don't agree with Martin at all.
Sick of dogs and water holes and people.
For those who's not scared to fight back, it's easy to say that. But we have mothers, we have females that are run the opposite way in the light of trouble. And they will tell, and they would exactly. So
But we need a couple of those.
Yeah. So that's why the following wing was divided, because certain people could relate to how their approaches were. Malcolm's approach more rebellious, more upfront, more attacking. Okay, so I could deal with that. Martin's on the other hand, hey, it's gonna get better. Let's just stick together. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk to these people. They're gonna listen one day. And some people that's fine with them.
Inclusion versus exclusion.
What I mean by that, right? What I'm basing that off, right? What I mean by, I think he lost his honor, right? Like, God forbid I start beef with one of my guys. I'm never gonna go do what he did. I'm never gonna go there. I mean,
so
we're gonna.
All right, so talk to me.
Separate, and it's gonna.
You got kids?
I got kids. I got 3 kids.
So what if he taking food out your kid's mouth?
What you mean?
Like, cause he was taking Malcolm's house. He didn't give him no job.
That's how you looking at it, though.
That's what happened. I'm looking at it. That's what happened.
He didn't follow protocol, bro. He did that to himself, though, because he didn't do that to him. He didn't do that. He did that to himself.
No. Protocol is freedom of speech. He made a comment. Somebody asked him a question and he made a comment.
But this is after being asked not to come.
No.
Listen, look.
Yeah,
if you work for a company, you work for ESPN. Hypothetically, you work for ESPN, and they tell you, listen, don't say you can't do that. You work.
That's a little different. It's a little more filtered.
It's a little more filtered. He worked for the nation. He was a speaker who represented the nation.
If he would have said that when he was with post Nation, it was just Malcolm.
So you agree with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? You agree with everything he was doing, trying to take Malcolm house and give him no bread? Like I agree with. Basically, he was putting the nation against him.
Listen, if you about to sandbag me, why would I let you live in my house?
No. Do you agree with?
Absolutely, I agree with that.
So you would have did that?
Hell yeah! Get up out of there.
Listen, man. When it rains, it pours.
Get up out of there.
At that point,
expeditiously. Being honest. Come on. Just being honest. The guy brought him from the dirt. You gotta realize a lot of these dudes that was in the Nation of Islam back then were dope fiends and jail dudes that came home from jail.
So who you believe started this whole beef, dispute, or anything?
As far as what?
Malcolm versus
Malcolm. His actions.
With the comment.
His actions.
In terms of when it got to the slander and all of that. Who did that?
He did that. He didn't have to do that. What did Elijah Muhammad say bad about him? Throughout the whole thing.
He ain't saying
nothing bad.
He started saying bad stuff. He jumped right in that water. He jumped in that water with him.
Me personally, I believe he was damn near a demagogue personally. Like me personally, Elijah Muhammad.
Man,
you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you can't tell that to his followers, though. You can't tell that to the, you know what I mean?
I think the Honorable Elijah Muhammad at a point was jealous of Malcolm's success.
Hey, Kyle, that's in life, right?
And that had a lot to do with
Elijah Muhammad was not as articulate.
He wasn't as charismatic.
He didn't have that.
He didn't need to be. He didn't need to be. He had the manifesto. He wrote the manifesto. He didn't need to be.
Yeah, but if you understand power and how power is structured.
No, I understand
if
that.
you ain't ready to relinquish power, you can't allow the next person to amass it.
And so he thought, you know what I mean, everybody thought Malcolm was the next in line. They was calling him the number 2 as a result of him being
And
an
if you ain't gonna
amazing
follow
minister.
but back to the
You know
point.
what I'm saying?
So if you're not gonna follow protocol, you out of hand now. So
Yes.
what was Elijah to do? Malcolm had all this power. Malcolm had the voice. Malcolm was the face. But you ain't gonna listen to what I'm telling you. What was he to do? Now you can't be checked. You too big for the movement.
I don't know. I hear you. I hear y'all.
So we gonna
I
put you
hear
back in your
everybody.
place.
But I just feel like if y'all was in a position, I just think it would go another way. I always try to put myself in people's shoes. Like,
I
damn,
can't-
what would I have done?
And that's what I'm doing.
I would
agree.
Would
That's
I
what
would
I'm
I
doing.
would have shut the
I'm-
you know what I
I'm
mean
putting
up
myself
like
in his-
no, I probably would have said something because first and foremost, the people wanted to hear from him. As prominent as he was as a figure in like history at that particular point or globally, they wanted to hear. How do you feel about the death of President John F. Kennedy? They want to hear from him. If they bring a topic to LeBron right now, he don't even
not
want
what you
to
wanna
speak.
hear.
They set that
He
man
got to
up.
say something to
They
him.
set him
They
up.
lied.
'Cause he's
They
LeBron.
lied them.
And
They
that was
already
the only
knew.
look. And that was the only question he answered. Then he left. Why not answer any other questions? Then he lined himself. Not that they lined. He lined himself. He knew what he was doing.
Hey, yo, we spoke about all this. We ain't talk about like the whole narrative of the government having something to do with it though.
Listen, he knew the government had something to do
Doing
with it.
something with what?
He
Exactly?
recorded
his
the
death-
government.
The COINTELPRO,
the death of Malcolm X.
the acts and the way
Like,
the
why,
government,
why
the games they
we
play.
ain't touch on that, brothers? We ain't touch on that at all.
I mean,
How the
listen.
feds botched the investigation.
Listen,
Purposely.
How they had a damn
more than one
what was
person
the,
wanted him dead.
lectern
How all the
was
news
still
outlets,
in the basement.
how
That's
all,
evidence.
How all the news outlets seem to celebrate his death as
Yo.
You know
opposed
what I
to
told
mourn
him?
him.
You know what I told the homies, right? You know what I told the homies, right? We had a discussion, right? I told the homies, I said, yo, you know what I personally think? And I'm not no conspiracy. I'm far from the Illuminati. I don't believe in none of that conspiracy. I don't believe in none of that, right?
Yeah,
I
go
believe it was written. It is what it is. It's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Talk.
But I believe honestly, right? At that time, I believe because it was a lot of scapegoats and a lot of undercover agents. A lot of-
Misinformation.
Even
Misinformation.
his bodyguard.
Informants like crazy.
Malcolm had a bodyguard named Gene Roberts. He that was bodyguarding him for years.
Yeah, and he ain't even know.
Didn't
he was
know.
an
And then it didn't even come
informant.
out in the case. He died in 65. They didn't come out until 69 that he was his bodyguard.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? So it was all kind of fluke shit going on.
Yeah.
But what I think really happened, you remember Belly? Remember the movie
Manipulating.
Belly?
Yeah, that's my favorite movie of all time.
All right, so you remember at the end when the FBI dude came up to X and was like, "Yo,
Yeah.
we need." And he was
Oh,
put
yeah,
to kill a
yeah.
fake Minister
Yep.
Farrakhan dude.
Yep.
Honestly, and this is as far as I'm going ever with a conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
I
you
honestly
feel
think
like-
some, because at that time he
Yeah.
had to go. It was
Yeah,
known he
talk,
had to go.
talk. Yeah,
he had
'cause
to
it was
go.
One of the worst
Paperwork.
dudes ever.
And then
J. Edgar.
even if you look on how it happened, it was 2 police officers patrolling that day, and it was on the rooftop.
Yeah, I seen him.
None on the bottom, none in the Audubon. And then for the 2 dudes that they say
setup,
alleged
man.
to kill, they were known Malcolm haters. Malcolm security, they said that he would have
There's no way.
never been able to
Yeah,
walk
he
a
was like,
block
if he
within
would've
that.
seen him, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I absolutely believe that the FBI,
Yeah.
NYPD has something to do with that.
Okay.
And even after he got killed that morning. They had a party in the Audubon
Yeah,
that
that's
Sunday.
Same night.
Say they didn't even get the projectiles.
The crime
out.
scene.
You
I mean,
can't
the
even.
crime scene wasn't
Exactly. Do
taped
you
off.
know-
So I think 100%.
They botched the investigation on purpose.
You would be a fool not to believe, not to think that
For real.
some type of authority has something to do with it, whether it was the FBI, the NYPD, CIA, somebody has something to do with it.
I like your take on that.
You know what I mean? Like I said, that's as far as I go as far as the conspiracy theory. But like I said, a lot of people wanted him dead, man. And same thing. I don't want to go off the Martin aspect, but the same thing with him.
Investigations getting botched today.
You know what I mean?
Talk about
Everything.
something in the
Like-
50s. I mean, come on,
Yeah,
now. They
overall-
botching investigations on the regular.
Overall, I thought it was a great
Covering shit up.
No, it was definitely it was a
I
super
was
great
glued.
watch. It was a 10 out of 10.
I didn't like I was glued. I watched them all in one sitting.
Yeah, same here.
Whatever.
a 10 out of
I'm
10.
pausing and go. You take a piss.
Yeah.
Back. What's
Yeah.
up? What happened? Like I'm all.
Yeah.
I was all in it, bro.
And just to touch on the point y'all started earlier, with regards to how the dynamic between Malcolm and Martin.
Yeah. Phil versus House.
Yeah, but even Martin at one point kind of went against Martin, or at least that approach. You know, he
How?
turned-
How so?
Because Martin stated, at one point that he felt like he led his people into a burning house.
Talk.
I mean,
Talk to
you'll
the
be a
people.
fool not to.
So
Like,
talk to the
Martin,
people, man.
he realized, the error in his ways at some point. But once again, I don't fully side with Malcolm with regards to the approach, but I'm damn sure not gonna let nobody
Yo, he had
spite my face
freedom
and just
riders.
turn the other cheek.
Freedom Riders was going in restaurants, knowing like I'm gonna get dogged. They had trainings. You know what I'm saying? For like I'm gonna get beat up. Everything.
And like the brother Skinny
what's
said,
up with
I ain't see Martin get bit not one time.
Not one time. like not one
I was
time.
at the top of the building looking like
Not one time. I mean, he got locked up.
they really getting jumped right
but he
now.
didn't- when the dogs was out and the water was out, he was somewhere in the
Bar was at the top, like I'm in the ghetto.
He looking for hoes. Martin was looking for hoes at that time. Martin was scouting for hoes, man.
Yeah.
Word up. Word, man. But
Yeah.
like pardon me. In closing, right? Like what are y'all like what like this was a dope conversation.
Definitely
too, fellas.
appreciate y'all too.
Definitely appreciate
And
y'all.
if you want to keep the conversation going, you want to be a part of it, you can always contact us at BTS.
You fucked it up.
Fuck that up, didn't I? What's that email? Somebody give me the email. I tried, y'all.
Yo, shit.
This is new. This is new. The I believe that's BTS grinding. No, BTS.
I don't know. You said all that.
Come on, I
out,
sent
bro.
y'all the
sent it
goddamn
in
email
the
earlier.
drink,
All
bro.
right, man, we gonna get y'all. We gonna be on a
for that.
banner somewhere. Y'all gonna see it on the bottom of the screen or something.
Yeah.
But y'all gonna have an
y'all
opportunity to
get it.
come through and fuck with it, deal with us, you know what I mean, on a personal level, you know?
You know,
But,
just email us. Make sure y'all contact us. You know what I'm saying? Any questions, anything y'all want to say, anything y'all want to add to the discussion.
Yeah.
You know,
Yo,
please.
definitely.
in closing, right? I would like to say, me personally, my closing arguments and everything about this is, like I said, I touched on it. I think the most important thing in life you could be is a man and standing on your morals and your principles.
I
and
agree.
with that,
What if you're a woman?
said again,
Or a woman.
or a woman, pardon me, or a woman.
Me too.
And you gotta stand and you stand on your ground, your morals and your principles, man, at all times, and be willing to die for it. Because if not, you're gonna go for anything. And I really mean that. You gotta be willing to die for what you believe in. You're gonna go any.
You don't
goddamn
stand
way.
for something. You fall for anything.
And you gotta do it by
That's
any
what they
means
say.
necessary.
And as we wrap this one up, we like to leave you all with a final thought. Just want to, it has nothing to do with our topic or what we spoke about before, but just something that you could live your life with or run with on a daily basis. And that's hard work and perseverance are not related. Go ahead and let that sink in.
Word.
Beneath the surface, you heard?
BTS.
Beneath the surface, man. Come to y'all.
See y'all again next time.
You.
Killer.